Hello everyone and welcome back to Mossy Pine Ranch at Elmcreek. We have reached episode number 28 and are now in September. It's a happy morning on Mossy Pine Ranch because, as you can see, we have some newborn horses. That's right, for the first time ever on Mossy Pine Ranch we've got some newborn horses, which is fantastic. So the horse pasture's looking nice and full with our newborn. Let's take a look at them. So we have Zen, Unagi, Strider, and then Godfrey and Kismet. So yeah, they are our newborn horses. They're at the lowest price. So yeah, they've got a lot of growing to do. And yeah, it just goes to show how long we've had the horses at Mossy Pine Ranch, because they take 22 months to mature and then an extra, I think it's 11 months to gestate, which means how long they take to grow the young and newborn horses in them. So yeah, our older, more mature horses will reset back to 0% reproduction. But the plan is this morning, we need to make sure we get them all fed. And I think I'm going to move all the younglings up to the top horse pasture. So I'm going to jump in the John Deere first of all and move the horses up there, and then make sure they've got all the needs of oats and hay, and also probably the water as well. And whilst we're at it, we'll probably see to the sheep, which are doing quite well, producing some wool for us. So leave that with me first thing, and we'll get all our animals taken care of. Okay, so that is the horses moved. The young'uns are now up in this top bit here, and they've had a bit of time to spend, you know, with their parents. But yeah, we're putting them up here to keep a closer eye on them. And yeah, we've got them all nicely fed up with hay and barley. They're topped up with water. Sheep have had a bit of a top up of hay and water as well. And then our horses down here, our mature ones, are all full to the brim with hay, barley and water as well. So that's really good. All animals looked after. We even topped up the greenhouse with water as well. But the next job is now over to silage. You might recall last time we were mowing up this field, we had some work from our helper, and we finished the day by forage wagoning it all up. Now we did manage to complete that all and get it into the fermenting silo. So that's been fermenting overnight, and we probably have a good haul of silage. Now I'm going to take some to the BGA. It's just approaching 9 o'clock, so probably a good time to get it over there as it's switching on for the day, although we have been there at midnight before. And let's have a look how much we've got in here. Oh, crikey. So we've got 104,000 litres of silage. So we can take our big trailer with the Mack truck, the Mack Daddy, and take that over there. But before we do, one thing I did notice is on the sale page at the dealership, surprise, surprise, the trailer that we bought last time has come up for sale now. So I'm probably going to sell this one and then buy the used one, and that way we get a bit of money back in the bank. I'm all for using used equipment where we can to save some money. So yep, the new one's going back to the shop and we're going to buy the same one but used. So here it is, the Lizard TLX X52 tipper, and 61% discounted, so that's pretty good, too good to miss out on. So I'm just going to get it and configure it exactly how we had our trailer selected last time. So there we go, the same trailer configured how it is now, and that's 41,310 with the discount, so that's really good. Let's buy that. Excellent. And we can hop in our Mack truck, get it fired up, and hitch up to our new trailer and go get a load of silage. Can't remember how much this trailer takes, but it's got huge capacity, so that's really going to benefit us here. Right, cover off and let's get it filled up. Try and go back and forward so it does load up evenly. There we go, 83,000 litres. Let's get the cover on. Now it does patch through the cover, which doesn't look so great, but yeah, it's good to have it full 100% load. So let's go get this over to the BGA. Quite a heavy load. There's our used trailer waiting for us at the dealership. And we can pull in here at the BGA to get this big load unloaded. There we go, and this dumper trailer is just about the right height, probably just a little bit shy to be tipping into the BGA. So let's get that unloaded. There we go. That's unloaded. Not as realistic as the other Lizard Trans 70 that we've got, which lifts up at the back to dump in the BGA bin, but close enough, so that's good. Right, let's get the BGA switched on so we can start producing that grass silage straight away. Okay, so that's activated, 83,000 litres of silage that's going to turn into biogas, and we've got 42,000 litres of a digestate here, which yeah, is good. We're going to get a lot more of that with this run now processing, so we might have to do another tanker run. But let's go get this trailer dropped off at the dealership and sold so we can pick up the used one. Right, that's the trailer dropped off. Let's get it sold. Oh, shush van, you're just going to have to wait. So we can repair this and sell it for 77,970. Okay, that's sold. The impatient van driver can now go past. But yeah, we lost around, I think, $10,000 on selling that trailer, which we bought for closer to 90,000 last time. But it's still worthwhile selling it to get this used one. And yeah, I know that's a bit silly, but yeah, Farming Simulator likes to play games with me and put stuff on the used sale market after we've bought it. It's really handy like that. But yeah, here we go, we've got the same trailer for a discounted price. So that is really good. Cool. So let's run this back to the ranch. And oh, actually, before we do disappear, I want to see if we can hitch up something that we need to buy today to help us with the next round of field prep. We are going to be buying a slurry spreader. So no slurry spreaders on offer, I'm afraid, but yeah, after I buy this one, I'm sure it'll probably come up tomorrow on sale. Yeah, I've had a look at all the slurry spreaders available, and the best one for capacity versus working width and price seems to be this Zunhammer SKE 18.5 PUD, and it's $65,000. It has 18,500 litre capacity and a width of 14.8 meters. Now I think you can place something on the back like the hoses to make the width maybe a bit bigger and the distribution more efficient, but yeah, they're quite expensive, so we're just going to go with the standard slurry spreader for now. You can get wide tyres with different wheeled brands, so I'm going to go for BKT and get the wide tyres for an extra 800. Now I was going to go for the Zunhammer yellow. There's quite a few Zunhammer colours to choose from, red into greens and into blue, but it looks like there's a Zunhammer red, and this one looks to sort of closely match the Case International colour, and it's the case that's going to be pulling this one, so I think I'm going to go with the red. That looks quite good. So that's $65,800. There it is. Quite large, but it's going to be perfect for our bigger fields now. And I was just going to see if I could hitch up the trailer to the back, because this trailer has a hitch, but I think this is a ball joint rather than a ring joint. Oh, so it looks like we can hitch it up, so that's going to save a trip back here with the case. So let's tow our nice new slurry spreader on the back of our new but used trailer. Excellent. Right, back at the ranch, let's pull in and we can drop the Zunhammer off where there's a bit of space. There will do, and we can just drop the Mack and truck trailer over here, and then it's into the case to start doing some digestate spreading. In the case we go. Haven't used the case for a little while, it feels, and this is the workhorse of the farm, so good to be in it. Now the other green tractor we've got, the Lizard, would be good for pulling the slurry spreader. It's our biggest and most horsepower tractor, but one downer that I noticed the other day, and I'm not sure how much it's going to impact us, but it is something to consider, is that it doesn't seem to have a rear PTO, which is quite interesting. I thought it did. Didn't notice it when we purchased it, but that means that when you hitch it onto the back of the Zunhammer, the PTO obviously doesn't appear. So yeah, it doesn't go towards the realism if we were running it off the back there. But luckily our Great Plains planter, that the Lizard's predominantly going to be used for pulling, doesn't need a PTO. So that is one bonus. Don't know why I'm pulling up to that vent, because that's not the slurry pit. It is over here. But yeah, let me know what you think of our new spreader. I'm a bit torn between whether red was the right choice. I did like the yellow look, so let me know. If you prefer the yellow, we can swap back. But let's fill up with our digestate. We've got 65,000 litres here, and each tank takes 18,500 litres. So we'll see how much we can get done. We might have to do a trip to go and fetch that 40,000 litres that's at the BGA. But we'll do as much as we can, and hopefully we can do one field. Now I was just pulling up to the field, and I've had a slight worry in my head that we're not going to have enough digestate from the slurry pit. We've got 65,000 litres there, and then we've got 35,000 litres in the slurry pit near the animals. So I think I'm going to go in the truck with the tanker trailer and go and get that 44,000 litres of digestate from the BGA, just so we've got a bit extra if we need it. So let's unhitch from that, grab the trailer, and I'll head over to the BGA and come back with some more digestate. See you soon. Right, that is an extra 45,000 litres deposited in the silo. So we're back up to 93,000 litres. That's nearly our capacity. And we've got 18,500 litres in the new Zunhammer. So that is going to be more than enough, hopefully. Now, when I set about using digestate before, I did mention that I'm probably going to use double application rate. But I'm just thinking that we're not going to have enough to do all the fields. So at some point we probably are going to have to switch to using a manual fertilizing resource. But yeah, we can activate double application rate, but that's going to probably run us at about 5 miles an hour, and I think we're going to use up all the digestate we've got just on this field alone. So I think it's best we just go for single, and let's switch our new spreader on. There we go. And yeah, we can just apply a single rate and cruise at a nice 10 mile an hour. So we're getting a good spread. This is applying the primary level of fertilizer to this field, and it's been mulched. We mulched it in the last session as well. Our helper did most of the work, but it has been mulched, as have our other two fields. But as you can see, even with the single rate, we are getting through it quite quickly. We're down to 78% now, so I need to make sure we use up all the widths. We haven't got precision farming enabled, so it will waste digestate if we are inefficient with our widths and go over bits twice. But yeah, as you can imagine, if we were doing the double application rate, we'd be chewing through this a lot faster, covering half the ground, and we just probably wouldn't have enough to get all of our fields done. So yeah, I'm going to go for the single application rate. That'll get us to primary level. And then I think the plan with next crops is going to be a bit different. I was umming and ahhing about what crop to put in here next, but I'm thinking what would really serve the ranch well is putting grass in all of our fields. Now that's not a permanent thing, but what we can do is we can put grass in this field, field 10, and we can also put it in our second biggest field, the one which had canola in, and that is going to benefit us because we can plant grass now, and it might even be ready for a harvest just before winter, but then it will most certainly be ready to mow and harvest in the springtime. And what we could do is we could mow it, which would reapply the primary level of fertilization again, and then it's ready for us to put some crops that we can plant in March. And a couple of those are sunflowers, and I thought about doing sunflower for doing some oil production again, because we've made some canola oil, but sunflower oil looks to sell for even better price. So I'm thinking we could put sunflower in this big field, and that gets planted in March, April time. And then for the other field, our second biggest to the right, we could do something like sorghum, which would benefit the horses and chickens for the next season. So yeah, that's my thoughts. We will plant grass now, and then we can in the early spring mow it, and then that'll be just enough time for us to get planted some crops like sunflower and sorghum. So that's my plan, and we are just about out of digestate for this first tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refill and crack on with getting the rest of the field all digestated up. So I'm going to see to that, and I'll see you when we're done. Okay, that is it all digestate spread. Now it took a lot more than I thought it was going to, but I'm glad I got the reserve from the BGA, as I'm just going to check the capacity when we get back, but I think we would have used a lot of what was in that slurry pit. We've got 8,000 litres left in the Zunhammer. Right, here we are. Let's just hop out and have a look, see what's left in there. 5,276 litres. So plus the 8,000 we've got in there, we've got around 13,000 litres left. So we used around 80,000 litres, or just about, approximately 80,000 litres to digestate spread this field. That is a whopping amount of litres. It's a big field, don't get me wrong, and it's good that we've used natural fertiliser to do it, but that is a lot of litres of digestate. So yeah, probably, you know, a good couple loads of silage going into the BGA to make that volume of digestate. So yeah, we need all the digestate we can get to ensure that we've got enough to deal with our fields. But let's just get the Zunhammer turned round. We can fill it with what we've got left, and of course there's another 30 odd thousand in the other slurry pit near the animals, and the plan is to either hopefully have enough to digestate spread the other fields, or we'll have to maybe crack on with the planting and wait till we've got more digestate from the BGA. Looking at our productions, we've got 46,000 litres of silage ready to go, but another 50,000 litres of grass to process, so we're going to wait until we've got a bigger load to take to the BGA. The BGA has still got 47,000 litres to process, but it's got 7,000 litres of digestate. So, yeah, looking at the recipe, 8,000 litres of silage translates into 2,500 litres of digestate. So it's a diminishing return every time we use digestate on the grass field, and we get a good volume of grass back. We never get as much digestate back as we put into it from silage. So yeah, it is a diminishing return. So yeah, it does mean that we probably at some stage have to use man-made fertiliser. We just have to. We're never going to create as much digestate as we need to cover the land that's going to grow the grass to make the silage to then turn into biogas and have digestate as a byproduct. But at least we can make use of the digestate to go as far as we can to minimise the man-made fertiliser. So next I'm going to use the 14,000 litres we've got in the slurry spreader. I'm going to top it up with the around 35,000 litres we've got in the other slurry pit over here, and I'm going to see if we can do this small field 2 and 3, which is merged together, because that is going to be our next permanent grass field to accompany field 1 / the meadow. So we're going to have two meadows, meadow 1 and meadow 2. Let's just get this filled up. There we go, a full tank, and we have 34,000 litres left. So I think we'll be able to do this field. I hope anyway. But let's get started. If we can't finish it, then yeah, we're going to have to spray it with something else when the time comes. But let's see how far we can get. that's all spread. And yeah, we had quite a bit spare, to be fair. Only just had 1.5 tanks. So it's good to know how many litres we need for each field. So yeah, that was around 26,000 litres. And we need about 90,000 litres for the big field. And I want to be just dropping the rest of the digestate back in here. So let's pump it back into the pit. There we go. Right, time to get this Zunhammer parked up. It's a nice bit of kit. Really glad that we purchased it for the farm. But yeah, I am torn whether red or yellow looks better. So let me know your thoughts on that one. So unfortunately not enough digestate to cover this field. Could have been close, but better to be safe than sorry. So we'll leave it unspread for now. And I think we'll probably hold off planting that one just to see how much digestate we get from the remainder of the silage that's still processing and the silage that's in the fermenting silo still. Alright, we can park that there and switch off the case. So one thing that we are going to need to do first before planting, and I have bought this lovely seed hut for $10,000 in preparation for filling our planter when we need it. But yeah, one thing we are going to need to do before planting is cultivating, as we don't have a direct planter. So I don't think we've got enough time to do both the big field and the little field today. So I think we will probably save that for next time, and we'll probably look to upgrade our cultivator to a larger one so we can get the job done much quicker. So we'll be cultivating and planting in the next one. However, we have got a little bit of time left today, so I think we're going to scurry over to the oil mill and grain mill to see how our productions are doing from last time. If you recall, we dropped the oats at the grain mill, and we also dropped our canola at the oil mill. So I'm going to swing by both, starting with the grain mill, as that's closest. So let's head over there and take a look. Right, so here's the grain mill, and aha, we pull in, we can see straight away what we have created. We have our oat flour. Well, it's just flour, so yeah, looks pretty good, but it is premium oat flour. There we go, type 405. And if we take a little look, this pallet is 1,000 litres, but we have around 17,000 litres of flour with 20,000 litres of oats still processing. So yeah, it's going to take another day or so to get this all up and running. And if we take a look at our productions menu, there we go, we've got 17,000 litres being stored, and we're just over halfway. So I think we've probably got enough space to be able to store all the flour. If not, we'll have to come and move some of the pallets. But the idea is I don't really want to move these until we've got all of the flour ready. And we'll probably have to rent a forklift and get a pallet trailer for our truck. So that is really good. Impressed with that. And the plan for our flour is we're not just going to sell it as flour, we're actually going to take it to the bakery to make bread, which is worth even more money than flour. So that is really going to benefit the ranch. But let's head over to the oil mill and take a look at our canola oil. Right, here we are at natural oils, and again I can see our produce straight away, so let's hop out and take a look. Aha, our lovely canola oil all bottled up. That's looking pretty good. So we've got 1,000 litres in that pallet, and we've got 30,000 litres of canola oil left to process, and around 1,200 litres of canola oil. I think that's what must be stored because the pallet area is full, because there's 1,000 litres in each pallet. So let's take a look. So 30,000 litres of canola, 1,200 litres being stored, plus I think the volume that is in these pallets here. So that probably means back at the grain mill, where we've got all those pallets of flour, there's also 17,000 litres of flour being stored in the productions facility. So yeah, we probably are going to have to move some of the pallets. But yeah, that is looking really good. And again, we're going to try and keep these here until it's all done and ready before we move them. But yeah, the canola oil is the end of the production line for that particular item. So yeah, we will just be straight up selling that to the highest bidder. You know you're starting to make it as a rancher when you pull up to the productions in your big old truck. Right, so that is it for today. I'm heading back to the ranch. It's obviously been a busy one. We started off by checking in on our newly born horses. Very pleased that we've got those newborns. And yep, I'm not sure how much money we're going to be making from our horses, but we are going to keep them for the long run and just see how we get on. I get the feeling that horses is something that you need in a lot of supply, i.e. you need a lot of horses to be able to start making good money from horse ranching. But nonetheless, we will keep our lovely horses. After that, we moved on to transporting some of our silage to the BGA, quite a large volume of it. We swapped out our trailer for a used one to get some money back, and then we bought our lovely new slurry spreader, which spread some digestate on our largest field, field 10, and then our smallest one, field 2 and 3. And the plan is that next time we are going to cultivate those fields, and then we're going to be ready to plant them, and we are going to plant grass, which should be ready and harvestable in early spring, and that is when we can plant some next crops, which will be hopefully sunflower for making sunflower oil, and something else, probably sorghum, so we've got food for our horses and our chickens. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, please remember to drop a like and a comment if you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do. But all there's left to say is, hope to see you again next time, and until then, I'll catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.